Okay, we just got back from watching an independent movie called Give Me Liberty. This is a dark comedy. Well, it's mostly a drama, so I guess dramedy,
Yeah.
about a Russian family whose son.
More of like this guy's an ambulance driver.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's a paramedic. He's a
Yeah.
privately. It's a privately owned company that sends up these private ambulances to help people with disabilities. So
Yeah.
he goes from door to door help. No, he goes from house to house, apartment to apartment, helping people with disabilities, and
Yeah.
driving them to places.
And this, and this probably is one of my favorite movies of this year. You know, The Farewell's still number one, but this, I feel like more people should watch this because it gets like a message that most other movies that like do this sort of thing. You know, they talk about social issues like mental illness, and I think they dive deep into like a sort of like a racial issue at some point.
Yeah. So and it takes place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's about a Russian who's been living here his entire life. I think he was born here. Was he born in America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
His
say
name
that.
is Vic. He's played by Chris Gollust.
There's a lot of first timers.
Yeah, this is his first time. This is his debut film.
I think they got like actual. I think they got like. I think some of them are like the best ones are kind of like semi-professional.
Yeah.
And yes, and I think it helps because it does. I think it does capture like the realness of it all.
Yeah, the film is shot in a very fast-paced way, so you get this feeling of urgency like in every shot.
Yeah.
Like this guy's constantly being urged to be faster because his
I
parents.
think one of the best things about this movie is that it reflects it kind of reflects the frenetic feeling of the whole thing. You know, you go one place and immediately like the audio for the next scene cuts in just straight away.
Yeah, and you have.
Like,
So you have all these racial tensions going on in Milwaukee, and then you've got these riots going on, and the streets are blocked off. So
but I think it's used more of a backdrop. But you know, I think it ends up being like I think the reason why it becomes the focus of the movie over time is because sometimes, you know, when you live in a city where all of this happens, it starts to, you know, things start to go full circle, you know, and you know, you end up encountering it, and it's crazy, but it happens for a reason.
Yeah, so Vic's this guy who's constantly being pushed around, and people are demanding that he do them favors. He's got this family full of people who are demanding that he drive them to a funeral for their grandmother, for their aunt or whatever.
Well, and one of the guys is actually, well, he claims is the nephew of the deceased, and I don't think I'll spoil the truth about that, but his character is
The womanizer.
That too. I mean, like, he's
very charming, very.
Yeah, the character. I mean, the character. He's very charismatic.
Yeah.
And he has this aura about him, and eventually this leads to a little bit of suspicion, like, once in a while, and but I think the main focus I was looking for is the relationship between Chris and one of the.
Vic.
I mean, Vic.
Chris the actor.
Right, Vic.
Vic is the girl with Lou Gehrig's disease.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, she had ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah, her name's Tracy.
Yeah,
and
she has Lou Gehrig's. She can barely walk.
And I think, and their stories are quite similar.
Yeah, they both have poor parents. They both are struggling, and they both have they've both gone through through hard times. And there's a scene where he's like, where there's a funny scene where he's in the car and he's like, your people are not your neighborhood and all this stuff. He's like, my neighborhood. What are you talking about, my neighborhood? He's like, oh, don't go play in the race card. You're playing the fucking race card. And my people be like, hey, Russians suffered too, okay? Don't think it's just because you're black in America that you had to suffer. You're the only one who suffered.
There's a little bit of that, and I think what I like about it is I kind of see both sides of the issue.
Yeah.
Because I know we've kind of read a lot of stories about both, the African American struggle as well as the struggle for Russians in
so the USSR, the USSR,
the USSR,
especially Jews. I think one of them was Jewish. I'm not sure. During the funeral they discussed that.
Yeah, I think they have Jewish heritage in them.
Yeah, I think they were from and one of them was from at the funeral. They're like,
yeah.
Oh,
so
one of my favorite scenes are when they're at the funeral and they're giving this big eulogy at the funeral, and they're at the wrong funeral, so then they have to go over to this other funeral, and what you guys talking? Yeah, that was a funny scene.
Oh yeah, the funeral scene was, I think one of the best parts of that was when they wanted to sing a song, and they didn't know what to know what to sing. Like one of them wanted to sing a Jewish protest song or something, and one of the other family members would said no, let's just do a typical Russian folk song, traditional Russian folk song.
So what you've got here is two people who are from very different parts of the world, but they've both suffered, and you can see how the city of Milwaukee, I think it's Wisconsin, that's where all the people were for. I think that's where they got the guy, the Somalian guy for Captain Phillips. Was he in Wisconsin, Milwaukee? I think there's a lot of Somali people there too.
I don't know, but I think what helps is that the first 2/3 of the movie is focused on Vic and having to deal with his family, while also having to deal with his job as well.
Yeah, and you can see how, and he tries to be nice to everyone, but no matter how nice you are, he tries to he misses his work, but he misses picking somebody up by an hour so he can to put up with his family's obnoxiousness because they're being obnoxious. One's diabetic and they have to constantly to pull over to get sugar. One has to take pills, and you can see how obnoxious they are. I mean, not purposely being obnoxious, but but you can see it from everything's seen from his perspective. He's like, oh great, now out of obligation I have to drive my family to a funeral, and they're going to nag me the entire way, and I'm an hour late. So that was interesting. And then you see it from someone else. You see it from the perspective of the riot at the very end. You see it from the perspective of the rioters, and they're rioting, and Tracy's brother's in jail for what was it for again? Not for rioting, for protesting or something like that.
Yeah, protesting. And the police. Yeah, they're trying to head to the station, and the rioters are basically in front of them.
Yeah.
And it does put a good perspective on, and on American life in the city, because it can be very, very difficult for people. And I think more people should watch this, because this is one of the few films that gets it right. I know a lot of Hollywood films, I Crash off the top of the bat. That did everything wrong in terms of
what's the one with the Hate You Give? That was generic as hell. Ever seen that one?
Well, yeah.
Super generic.
I don't think I saw that, but
generic as hell.
What I'm talking about is they I guess they overplay the melodrama most of all of it, when really it's basically like regular life. Life goes on. But there's a lot you have to deal with. I know we both have to deal with it in some ways.
Yeah,
too.
and like there's one scene where
I don't know. Yeah.
where it turns to black and white, and you can see like I saw it as a way like they're at their darkest moments. Therefore, the screen goes to black and white because it's showing them when they're at their lowest.
Yeah.
And everyone's like super angry, and the girl's trying to get in with the wheelchair, trying to get into the police department to see her brother, who's trying to be a rapper or something like that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it. I mean, he does claim it's a rapper, but I think what it really. I don't think it was clear, but I think it was just like somewhat of like a story, just so they can go and like do and participate in a protest or something. But like again, that's not clear. But either way, it's. And anyway, what I'm talking about is a movie like this, it gets the balance of like of like realness, and like it gets the situations right.
Yeah.
Whereas in like a Hollywood movie like Crash or The Hate You Give, which I mean, it turns up a lot of.
They always try and have like one main bad guy. This one,
it always has like a
This one, there's no main bad guy. The antagonist is life.
I mean,
life isn't gonna be your friend all the time.
I mean, even if it didn't, it does turn up more of the drama, and I mean, Crash won. I think Crash won Best Picture over like 1,000 other competitors.
Yeah, I never saw Crash.
Yeah, I didn't, but I heard the story.
Yeah, the point is, like I said, life is not going to be your friend all the time. This movie definitely shows it, and it shows how people are always like in this movie. There's one scene where he accidentally crashes into somebody's car, and this guy's trying to hustle him. And he's like, "Motherfucker, give me $500." Like that piece of shit car's worth $500. Anyway,
it's a used car. It still costs a lot of money to fix.
Yeah.
Trust me. He swiped the mirror.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's funny. There's a scene. My favorite scenes are the moments when when you get to take a breath and like enjoy the atmosphere. One of the scenes is when he talks about vinyl records. He puts a penciler between a hole of a vinyl record and gives it to Tracy to spin around, and he puts this device with a paper cone on it, and you can hear this like really cool, this really like nice screeching sound off the vinyl record. That was a fun scene.
Yeah,
and then you got the scene. That was
awesome.
My favorite scenes when they're in the home for the disabled people, and they're having a disabled people talent show.
Yeah,
and there's this girl who's a fan of Elvis, and she sings Elvis songs. And she tries to wiggle her hips around like Elvis, and everyone's clapping for her, like, yeah.
Oh, the accordion player joins along.
Yeah, and the accordion player joins in because he's very. They're a very music-centric family, so he comes in and he joins her by playing the accordion while she's singing Elvis songs. That was funny. All this is going on. You can see these people are taking for granted what Vic is doing for them, and it makes you feel bad for them. Like, these assholes are having fun playing accordion and having a talent show while I'm busting my ass off trying to keep a job, and I've been an hour late getting these disabled people to their destination. You can definitely see if you see it from that context, you can definitely see how bad you feel for Vic. Like, and then he tries to hit them all together, and then it takes like 10 more minutes to get them all together. And, that was
I think being part of that, being part of the help, for lack of a better word, really takes a lot of patience for it, and especially since you hardly get a lot of money for it.
Yeah, but you can definitely see how he really cares about these people. He doesn't see us as sacks of shit. Like, I'm this guy who's taking care of these disabled people. These sacks of shit just lay around all day.
But in the end, I feel
one of them is kind of obnoxious. Well, really obnoxious. It's the fat guy who weighs like 450 pounds. He has to wheel around in a wheelchair. He's so fat, and he's like, it's not my fault. They keep tempting me. They gave me apple pie and ice cream. They keep tempting me with apple pie and ice cream. What am I supposed to do? Not eat it? Like
Yeah,
this
but
really fat guy who's obnoxious. But then there's this other really nice guy who's paraplegic. He's the first person you see in the movie. In the first scene, he's a paraplegic guy whose right hand is like melted together, and his left hand can barely move. So he has to have someone help him with a cigarette. He gives him all these life lessons, and he's very knowledgeable. That was a nice scene. So it's like. Like not all these disabled people are like idiots. Some of them are smart. Some of them are obnoxious. But some of them are really good hearted, and some of them are not bad. Are just put in bad situations.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's not like demonize. It's not trying to make you look down on these people because they're disabled. It's just
or trying to make you feel sorry for them.
Except for the fat guy, he was obnoxious.
Well, but you know, and I think that's why this movie works, because I feel like this gets you get so many people in this type of movie, and you understand every single point of view, but not in a way where it feels like not in a way where you feel like you have to, where you have to, you kind of have where they want you to be very really happy for them, because they're just living life, and it just you know, I think, you know, a movie like this, you know, goes a longer way than what we usually see.
Yeah, I mean, you got so how exactly does it end again? How exactly did it end? I forget. When they pay his bail, get him out of jail, then what?
I think, I mean,
I forgot how it ends. I remember they get him out of jail by paying off his bail.
I think in the end, life goes on. Yeah. And I think it just, you know, the world just spins.
It's a slice of life show. It doesn't have to have a big epic story. A movie doesn't have to have a doesn't have to be story, like a very heavy on story to be good. If it's got good characters, I guess. Like, this has good characters.
Yeah, the movie does that. And I think more people should watch this.
Yeah, I definitely like them. Yeah, so is there anything we're missing?